first grade. It's Mrs. Dyler coming to you from her living room again today with your math lesson. Now, if you recall, the past couple weeks we've been focusing on 2D shapes. But before we move on to our new lesson today, I just want to review the vocabulary words that you guys have learned so far. Are you ready? So 2 weeks ago, you learned the word symmetry. What is symmetry? Symmetry means the same on both sides. Do you remember I used the brownie as an example? I cut it into 2 fair shares, or 2 of the same size. So it was equal or the same. Now, last week you learned the word partition. What does partition mean? Partition means to break into equal parts. Remember I showed you the shapes? We did a circle and we thought it was a pizza. We cut it into equal parts. 4 parts and halves. Remember, halves are 2 equal parts, right? And we did fourths, which is 4 equal parts. Now, today's math lesson is going to focus on what a fraction is, okay? A fraction is how many parts of a whole we have. So, last week we worked on halves and fourths, so 2 pieces and 4 pieces. So today's lesson is focused on fractions. Everyone say that with me, fractions. Good job, boys and girls. So Mrs. Dyler just going to move this piece of paper over here because we're going to be writing, we're going to be actually drawing on this. Okay? So Mrs. Dyler has some really great magnetic shapes, okay? The first one I'm going to show you is a square. But these are magnetic, okay? So they break into pieces. So I'm going to turn it to the side. Now, you see a line right down the middle, right? And I can pull it apart, okay? Now I have 2 pieces that are exactly the same size. So I'm gonna try and draw this square to look just like this on my paper. So here we go. It's not perfect, but it's okay, right? Then it has a line right down the middle, okay? How many equal parts are there? There are 2, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to color one of them red. Okay? Now, how many parts are red? 1. Okay. How many parts are there all together? 1, 2. But what if I were to ask you how many parts are red, you would tell me there is 1. So I would write 1. Okay. Now, but how many parts are there all together? 1, 2. Now, when you're doing fractions, you have to remember that you have to draw this little line right here, okay? That shows it's a fraction. So here on my top shows how many are red, and then my bottom tells me how many are there all together. So there are 2 parts all together. So this says 1/2, because 1/2 of that square is what color? Red. Okay? Now, I'm going to teach you 2 new vocabulary words. You don't need to remember them. I just want to introduce you to them, okay? This top one is called the numerator. Can you say that with me? Numerator. And the bottom one is called the denominator, okay? So just so you guys know, you can go home and tell your parents you learned 2 new words. Numerator and denominator, okay? Now I'm going to draw a circle. And I'm going to cut this in half, okay? And I'm going to color 1/2 of it red. Boys and girls, I'm going to ask you a question. How many parts of this circle are white? 1. So you're going to write the fraction showing how many parts are white. So we said 1 part is white. When we do a fraction, we have that line. And how many parts are there all together? 2. Good job, guys. Now this is halves, right? Now we are going on to fourths, okay? So Mrs. Deibler has another magnetic shape here, and we have a shape of a square again. Now, if you can see, it's broke into 4 parts, okay? So Mrs. Deibler is going to go ahead and draw this for you. Okay, did I draw it right? Yeah, I have 4 equal parts, right? Now I'm gonna color 1 part red. Okay, my question to you boys and girls is, how many parts of this square are red? Hold up a finger. If you're holding up the number 1, you're right, so kiss that brain of yours. So, how many parts are there all together, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember, my top number of our fraction is how many are red. So we said 1 is red. Draw that line. And how many parts are there all together? 4. Now let's review. What is the top number called? Numerator, right? Good job. And the bottom part is called the denominator. Now I'm going to draw a rectangle. Okay. Now I'm going to cut it into 4 equal parts. And I'm going to color 1, 2, 3 black. Now my question to you is, how many are white? How many are white in my rectangle? 1. So what's my top number going to be? My numerator is going to be the number 1. Draw that line. And how many are there all together, boys and girls? If you held up 4 or said 4, you're right. So this says 1/4 of that shape is white. Now, we are just focusing on 1/2 and 1/4 for today. Now I'm gonna leave you, and I'm gonna leave you with a fun little video to watch. Then there is a worksheet that you can do on the paper-based activity. Now, if you can't print it, it's okay. Draw the shapes out. It's just halves and fourths, and write those fractions. I know you guys can do it. It's been great seeing you, and I will see you later on this week. Bye, guys. We love you, and have a good week.